So one thing every one of us is going to deal with in life is going to be conflicts. There's nothing we can do about it. Marital conflicts, business conflicts, relationship with friends, church, sports. We're going to have conflicts. But what separates the great ones versus the average and ordinary is how we deal with conflicts. I used to be terrible in dealing with conflicts until I studied this topic to find out if there's a formula on how it works. So the lowest level of conflict, dealing with conflict, there's 5 levels. The lowest level is we tend to be stubborn about whatever belief system we have. So for instance, you ever had a debate with somebody, or you ever had a conversation with somebody about something and they were just purely stubborn, which means they're assertive, they believe in their position because they're stubborn, but not willing to cooperate. Lowest level of dealing with conflict is to be stubborn. Second level is to accommodate. What does it mean to accommodate? You ever met people that are about pleasing everybody, right? They're people pleasers. Everybody, as long as everybody's happy, that's all that matters, right? The challenge with that is, the issue with conformity is everyone's happy except one person, and that's you. Third level of dealing with conflict is folks who avoid it. Ever met somebody that avoids problems? They just don't want to even deal with any problems. They don't want to deal with conflicts. They avoid everybody, right? And so eventually what happens is 5 years, 10 years later, there's problems, conflicts with so many people that they've been avoided, and all of a sudden everything comes at you at the same time. Fourth level is the one that we've been told is the best thing to do, which is to compromise. Now let me explain to you compromise. I want you to think about a husband and wife are lost in the desert, okay? They get to a road which right in front of them is a cliff. If they go straight, they're going to fall down. If they go left, husband says, we got to go left. Wife says, we got to go right. Well, but they've been told they should compromise. So if left is what husband wants, right is what wife wants, but they disagree, but they say, we should do what we've been told what to do, which is what? Let's compromise. Let's keep going straight. If they go straight, what's going to happen? They're going to fall off a cliff. So compromise may be something we've been told what to do, but there is a level above conflict that the great ones figure out, and that is to collaborate. Collaborate doesn't necessarily mean I have the best idea, you have the best idea. It's about taking yours and taking mine and putting it together, and then from there dealing a conflict together that deals into something even bigger. The great ones learn how to collaborate. And my challenge to you is this week, take an inventory of yourself. How do you deal with conflict? Are you stubborn? Do you accommodate? Do you avoid? Do you compromise? Or do you collaborate? Find out whatever position you are and find a way to increase yourself to the next level where eventually you'll learn how to collaborate when it comes down to dealing with conflicts. It's my message of the week to you.
Well, the first thing about difficult conversations is one of the things that drives them is running assumptions. People run assumptions instead of doing reality checks. So they think that they know what the other person thinks and feels, and they're preparing their response, usually their either defense or attack, based on that assumption. Okay? So the first tip is don't run assumptions. Do a reality check. Find out what's really going on. I worked for a boss once who would take things at face value. And in fact, he heard something from somebody, and he was one of the worst examples of what not to do when you're trying to resolve a conversation or have a difficult conversation with someone. And he had heard that I had done something, and he said, so why did you do such and such? And I was taken aback because he had completely the wrong information. Okay, and I immediately felt attacked. Now, because I used emotional intelligence, it didn't escalate into something really bad. I said, let's just stop. Let me tell you what happened. Let me give you the information from my reality, okay? But you need to be doing that in managing people. This is really, really important. And very often, you'll have a reaction, and the adrenaline starts going, and you're off in your mind. You've got to stop, okay? So you check with the person, and the way that you do a reality check is you say, I got some information from a client of ours today that said that you hadn't produced the deliverables that we had agreed to. And I'd like to hear your reality. What's your experience of this? So I understand what's going on, okay? Do the reality check, and you can ask questions. So why do you think the client might be upset? So you have this reality, client has this. Where do you think the disparity lies? What do you think went wrong? Is it in our communication? What do you think's happening? So if you ask questions, that invites the other person to share the reality instead of attacking. So don't run assumptions. The second thing is, no matter what's going on emotionally, use a neutral tone. Really work hard to do what I call emotional containment. That means I'm not talking about stuffing your emotions. I'm talking about containing them long enough to decide what you're going to do with them. Because the more you have a charged tone to your voice, you're either going to invoke a defensive reaction in the other person or a counterattack. So really make that as monotone as you can, no matter how upset you are. Saying to somebody, I'm noticing I'm really, really upset right now. And I want to stay calm and have a productive conversation, but it's really difficult because I'm so upset. And let me tell you why I'm upset. Okay, next tip. You use the I at the beginning of your sentence. I experienced the comment that you made at the meeting that my marketing idea was pathetic is really demeaning. And it may not have been your intention, maybe it just slipped out of your mouth, but I found it really, really upsetting. And then I got angry, and then I withdrew, and then I didn't want to have anything to do with you for the last 2 days, and because I didn't know how to deal with it. And I just really would appreciate if you would talk to me in a respectful way in the meetings. And I want us to have a good professional relationship and have a mutually respectful relationship. As opposed to saying, you accused me, you put me down in that meeting, and that made me really angry, and who do you think you are? Because you're going to escalate the conflict, you're not going to diffuse it. Your goal is always around diffusing conflict. Understand the difference between assertive communication and aggressive communication. Assertive is saying that report that you finished came in 2 days late, and I'm very disappointed and upset because I felt like we had an agreement that you were going to deliver it on my desk on Wednesday morning, and I felt let down. And I really need you to honor the agreements that you make because I need to know that you're going to deliver. I need to be able to count on you. It's really important. As opposed to, well, you said you were going to deliver that on Wednesday morning, and where is it? What do I have to do? Hold your hand while you do the report? Of course, they're going to feel attacked. You're going to lose your people. They are not going to be in your camp. So it's very important. And the last thing I want to tell you is don't should on people. That's S-H-O-U-L-D, by the way. Don't should on people. As soon as you start saying you should, and of course the finger usually goes with it, you're going to lose people. They're going to shut down and get defensive. You can say things like, have you thought about doing such and such? Or I wonder if calling the client on Wednesday might be good rather than waiting for them to call Friday. Let's let them know that we're really involved. We really want their business. So don't should on people. Even if you feel you know the answer of what they should be doing, you could say, I'd really appreciate it if you could do such and such, instead of, you really should be doing such and such. Okay? Those are some concrete tips that can help you have those really tough conversations.